Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing the Do I Have That Book tag or challenge. I saw this from Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. I can speak, I promise. And since I've seen it a couple other times, well, seen it around, I haven't had time to watch them, but I decided it'd be fun to do. I also learned that the term for some of the books is Deckled Edges. I didn't know what they were called, I just thought they were uncut. Anyway, let's get started. So according to Sam, whose video I will link below, the challenge is to not look at the questions beforehand, and to be honest, I only remember 2 of them anyway, and then time yourself and see how many of the books you have. I'm not going to time myself because 1, my camera times me, and 2, that would just be a mess. An absolute mess, as you can plainly see, because I don't know where any of the books are, but I can think of some, or maybe come up with some from what I can see now. But anyway, let's get started. So the first question is, do you have a book with deckled edges? And happily, I can actually reach an entire series. Yes, I do. Ooh, I have an E statement, that's nice. Yes, I do. The entire Land of Elyon series has deckled edges, so long as they are what they think they are, which is the rough edges that kind of feel uncut. But I enjoy them. These are less deckled than the Three Dark Crowns series by Kendar Blake. I also enjoy the Land of Elyon more than I enjoy Three Dark Crowns, but that's neither here nor there. So the answer to that is yes, I do. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? Also, happily, I can reach that. Yes, I do. And that is In the Belly of the Bloodhound by L.A. Meyer. This is, I don't know, one of the Bloody Jack adventures, which starts with Bloody Jack, and they follow an orphan girl from Britain in the early 1800s, I think, who decides that she doesn't want to be hanged for stealing a loaf of bread because she's an orphan living on the streets and starving, so instead she goes and cuts her hair, dresses as a boy, joins the Navy, and she has a whole series of adventures worth 11 or 12 books. I've only read 9 or 10 of them though. But yes, there's clearly more than 3 people on the cover. Number 3 is, do you have a book based on another fictional story? Yes. Do I know which one? Not entirely. We could go with Snow White and Rose Red, which is a retelling of Snow White, I assume. Have I read this? No. But it's by Patricia C. Reed, who wrote Dealing with Dragons, which I just saw a second ago and then I lost it. But I love her writing, I just haven't read this one yet because there's always more books. Do you have a book with a title 10 letters long? And I cheated a little bit on this one because I had to think of one, and half of the ones here do not count. So for this one I went with Foundation by Mercedes Lackey, which is over on that side of the pile. It is in a series that is in a series about Valdemar and its history. It's a fantasy series, and I love Mercedes Lackey, so absolutely anything she writes is phenomenal. Number 5, do you have a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter? I have no... Yes I do. Oh, the Meetings You'll Go To, a parody by Dr. Seuss. Haha. It starts with an O, literally, with the letter and just the phrase O, and then ends with a 2, which has the letter O as the last one. So yes I do, and I could reach it, which is amazing. Oh look, there's another one. Number 6 is, do you have a Mass Market Paperback? Yes, I have multiples. I think this one might be a Mass Market Paperback, which is Cinderella 6 Feet Under. It is a Victorian era retelling of the Cinderella fairy tale, except it's a murder mystery. Read it on Halloween, it's highly enjoyable. I also have Pharaoh something or other by Wilbur Smith. I can't remember the exact, it might just be Pharaoh, it is just Pharaoh. I have Pharaoh by Wilbur Smith, which is also a Mass Market Paperback, but it's one of those weirder ones where it's too tall, and I don't mind Mass Market Paperbacks because they are cheaper, but the height throws me a little bit. I think also probably most of my Mercedes Lackeys are Mass Market Paperbacks. Number 7, do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? I am not, yes. Somewhere in this mess, I have Silas Marner by George Eliot, and that is not her real name, but I don't remember her real name. So somewhere in here is Silas Marner, which I read last October for Victober, and it was okay. I would like to read some of her longer work and see if it's better. Number 8, do you have a book with a character's name in the title? We'll go with a different book. Yes, I do. The Gospels of Loki by Joanne M. Harris, which I'm fairly certain I've read. I have definitely read this one. I read this last summer, I think. It is obviously about Loki, who is a character, also a god in Norse mythology. This was fun. It is interesting. I will say that. I think I gave it a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5 stars. Number 9, do you have a book with 2 maps in it? I have no bloody clue. I think this one will count. So yes I do. Again, I might be slightly cheating, but Children of Blood and Bone, the signed copy, has a map that comes out of it, and it's nice and large, has that map, and then, I mean, I guess you could consider that kind of a map to tell you who's what. It also has a map on these edges, and I think it might be the same map. No? Oh yeah, and then the same map there. But that one maybe counts. And we're going with it because, again, bit of a mess. So number 10 is, do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? I do. I own The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Didn't like that book, so refused to watch the series. I also own Outlander by Diana Gabaldon and Game of Thrones by, what's his name? George R.R. Martin. I've only read the first one of either of those series, and I have not seen the TV shows. But there's that. Number 11, do you have a book written by someone who is originally famous for something else? Yes, I have Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I recently bought. She's famous for being First Lady of the United States, in case you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years. It's fine. Number 12, do you have a book with a clock on the cover? I'm sure, yes. There is one that I think has it. It's not The Clockmaker's Daughter. Has something about filigree in the title. I learned about it from books and things, and I can't remember the title, but it is in here somewhere, and I think there's a clock on that. We're going with it. Number 13, do you have a poetry book? Yes, I have William Wordsworth's collection. I have The Princess Saves Herself in this one by Amanda Lovelace, and I have The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, also by Amanda Lovelace. I can't show them to you because they are buried under all of these books. Number 14, do you have a book with an award stamp on it? Yes, I guarantee I do. Do I know? Oh, I do have one right here. Ha! I have The Giver by Lois Lowry, which has this nice John Newbery medal sticker stamp on it. It's nice and raised, it's lovely. This is also a signed copy. I used to have a signed copy of Numbering the Stars, but I lent it out and it never came back. So I don't lend out books anymore, ever. Well, not with the expectation of getting them back. Number 15, do you have a book written by an author with the same initials as you? I don't think so, but I could be horribly wrong, and I just haven't been paying attention. If you know any book that has an author's initial as KP, let me know, because I'm curious as to whether I have it or not, and I have no idea, nor do I have really any time to run through all of my books and find out. So, I don't know. Number 16, do you have a book of short stories? Yes. I have a Kindle book from Ken Liu that's short stories that I read on recommendation from my friend Katie, and I've somewhere in this got a book by Lee Bardugo in the Grishaverse, that fairy tale one with all the beautiful pictures. I'm going to count that one, I just don't know where it is. 17, do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long? Well, duh. Do I know which one it is? No. I have no bloody clue, because why would I have a clue? But, oh no, that one's like 600 pages, so is that one? Oh, you might work. Let's see. Oh, for 2 maps, Bitter Blue by Kristen Cashore works, because In the back, it has this nice known world, and it also, oh, it has several maps. It has Bitter Blues rooms and Lex rooms, and it has the castle. Wow, it has the Winter Bridge. It just has a whole bunch of illustrations and maps in it that I've never looked at, but that's not why I'm looking at this book. Nope, oh nope, that one definitely doesn't count. Oh geez, we're gonna skip this and maybe I'll come back to you when I look through my books, because I promise you I do have a book that's 500 to 510 pages. I just can't find it. Nope, that's 442. Okay, before I get too obsessed. Number 18, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? Yes, I own Fahrenheit 451 somewhere in this mess. I also own The Enigma, which was turned into The Imitation Game. The movie was better than the book, even though it was somewhat inaccurate and unclear, simply because the book has far too much math in it. I think The Giver was turned into a movie, and I own that. I own a lot of them. Number 19, do you have a graphic novel? Yes, I have two. Both are historical graphic novels, I'm sure that surprises no one, by Nathan Hale, the comic artist, not the spy, because the spy's been dead for a couple hundred years. Big Bad Ironclad and something about World War I. I enjoyed the Civil War one a little bit more, just because it was a little bit more focused. The World War I was the entirety of World War I, and that's just really hard to fit into a comic book, but they did a good job. 20. Do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? Yes, I do. We're gonna go with The House of the Four Winds by Mercedes Lackey and James Mallory. She has written a fair number of books with James Mallory, but that's the one that comes to me off the top of my head. So that's the one I'm going with. But I'm sure I also have multiple others somewhere in this mess. That is the Do I Have This Book tag or challenge. I will leave Sam's video linked down below, as well as the original creators. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up down below, hit subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you after all of these books are put away. Bye.